are listening to Voice of the Fans Sportscast, brought to you by none other than the voices of the fans.
Oh, Canada.
For Wednesday, the 27th of August, I'm Randy Coure. This is Voice of the Fans Canada. We are live on YouTube at VOF Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. Or if you have downloaded tonight's episode off of your favorite podcast catcher, find us on all social media at VOF Canada, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, TikTok. We are there. Well, September is right around the corner, and tonight's episode is all about baseball, how the playoff races are shaping up and what is expected amongst the panel's favorite teams, as well as the play this season. Major League Baseball is thinking of some radical changes with regards to realignment and possibly expansion, as well as a salary cap as well. In rapid fire, what is the future of Blue Jays All-Star Bo Bichette? And down the road with MVP finalist, a potential finalist, Cal Raleigh. And we're also going to tie in the New York Knicks with the Bronx Bombers. If you are curious in why, be sure to stick around. The Roundtable has assembled for this evening. I'm very excited for tonight. You can find our first panelist. He is talking sports with Jake. Find him on Twitter. He is Jake Cardinale. Jake, how are you?
I'm good, Randy. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. And also, love him or hate him, he is hate them. Excuse me. No, you cannot hate. He is Pinstripe proud. He is the host of Foursquare Sports, which you can find on 102.3 KIXB, the Island Experience in the beautiful state of Washington. As well, he is the co-host of the Talking Baseball with Sal show on 107.7 WRRC in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. Matt Siriani is back. Matt, what's going on?
First off, I always love coming on the show. Unfortunately, I didn't follow my promise. I was supposed to wear Blue Jay gear, but don't worry, that's going to happen if the Blue Jays win the division.
Yeah,
I stand by my promises.
Down boy.
Great because you brought on a mentor of mine on the show, and I actually am very excited that I'm sharing this show with him.
No, and you know what? It's an absolute thrill to have him on. He is our special guest for this evening. He is an accomplished sportscaster who has taken his Yankee pride to the outskirts of the mean streets of Philadelphia. He is the host of Talking Baseball with Sal. You could find Talking Baseball with Sal on the podcast network such as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, as well as Facebook from Rider University. 107.7 The Bronx in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. Sal Angioletti is here. Sal, a real pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Thank you. That was a great intro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. I mean, as an outsider, obviously north of your border, I mean, as a Yankee fan, you're in Phillies Nation. I mean, is it difficult to sport your Yankee colors? I mean, could there be some...
No, actually not. When the Yankees were in town last year, I decided to wear my Garrett Cole jersey and we'll walk right into work with it.
Okay. That's You're a brave man. I do have to say that.
Yes, I'm still alive.
Yeah, you're still alive. You're still alive. And I actually had a similar experience because I went to for work. I went to Milwaukee and I picked up a cheesehead,
Okay.
and I had to connect from O'Hare in Chicago,
Okay.
and my cheesehead didn't fit in my luggage, so I had to wear my cheesehead through O'Hare International Airport. And I actually did get a couple of jokes. I was told that if it was football season, then it would have been a
Yeah,
little bit
you were
more
in
of a
trouble.
rougher experience.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't be hosting the show right now.
No, that's right. Maybe from the great beyond. But no, Sal, thank you so much for joining us. And, Sal and Jake, Matt, Sal, as the host of a baseball program, you could definitely go in depth. And there certainly is a lot of storylines with regards to baseball. But in a general sense, sports, especially in my part of the world in Toronto, I mean, we don't really have a lot beyond Major League Baseball in the summertime.
Right.
I mean, sure, there's some lead up to the football season. You got college sports on the go, amongst everything else. But the stadium infrastructure isn't as strong as it is here around my neighborhood. However, the city of Toronto did open an outdoor concert venue. It's called Rogers Stadium, and I do have to say, it's not getting a lot of rave reviews. I do want to I'll show you a quick video of Coldplay concert. Now, this was for the infamous Kiss Cam fiasco that happened. Where was that? Was that MetLife Stadium? I can't remember. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But here is Chris Martin talking about Rogers Stadium when they were in town last month.
Oh, wow.
You have to come to this weird stadium in the middle of nowhere. So thank you for coming through the traffic and the travel and the trains and the waiting and the lines and all the nonsense. And I hope you're okay. And I'm really so grateful to see you. We're so lucky to be here in general, but also in Toronto on this beautiful Monday night. And so far, it seems to be the best meeting I ever experienced in my life. So.
Oh my god.
So it's a little disheartening when one of the biggest musical acts in the world is trashing the stadium infrastructure. But it did get me to think. It doesn't really have to be for the summertime. It doesn't have to be a sports-related event. But especially with where you guys are, you're basically in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, and with so many sports to see, so many concerts to see, so many stadiums to get to. Sal, why don't we start it with you? I mean, obviously, as a big sports fan, is there a stadium or an arena, a concert venue in mind that is just an absolute dumpster fire to get to? Because that's the case at Rogers Center.
Not just to get to, it's majority almost getting out of. Just finishing up my time in Philadelphia working security for the Phillies and Eagles and any event over at Wells Fargo, which is now the Xfinity, T-Mobile, whatever the arena now. It's the way they built these stadiums or arenas, especially in a venue that has three different, things. There was a time I was working a show and we had, I think, Top Golf over in Citizens Bank. Right across the street at Lincoln Financial was a soccer game and a concert going on at the same time at Wells Fargo. It's the roads lead to nowhere kind of thing. If they close down a portion of Delaware Avenue and everybody's going out the same way. Taylor Swift played 3 shows last year and took me 2.5 hours to get in a parking lot. So it is crazy. It's like you got to go this way to get on I-95, and it's just a mess. Yankee Stadium, of course, New York has all the subways.
Mm-hmm.
They have all the the means of public transportation where Philly really doesn't have that kind of thing like they do in New York. Madison Square Garden, which sits alone, you can, like I said, subways. Barclays Center, the same thing in Brooklyn. If you decide to take a car to Barclays Center, I would not suggest it because of the parking situation. There's no parking there. What else? Citi Field, same thing. Trains, it's okay. Now that they're building a soccer stadium in that area, it's going to get worse.
For
MetLife,
NYCFC?
yes, MetLife
Yeah, okay.
Stadium, which I worked security for the first 6 years they first opened. I worked the Super Bowl in 2014 there. It's not a bad stadium. It's, like I said, it's getting out. Worked a Bon Jovi concert, and when he opened the place up, instead of taking the shuttle bus, they take the employees to their parking lot. I had to walk. That's how bad it was.
Right. So if there's
another-
one stadium, if there's one stadium that you had to
I would say
choose,
MetLife.
MetLife. Okay. Okay. I'm a little surprised because I mean, like, it's what, 75, 80? Well, I guess with that many people.
Well,
like, how can you-
if you heard Mike Francesa and a lot of people say that's like a big air conditioner just dropped in the middle of the Meadowlands. It was poorly done for all that money. If you got to go if like 200 levels where the suites are, and you got to go up to come back down for certain areas, and it's just some of the sight lines aren't that great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jake, I saw you nodding, especially when Sal was talking about Barclays Center. You're pretty much in, like, I apologize if I'm mistaken, but the three of you are in the area there and probably have experienced sporting events to which Sal had mentioned. Is there a stadium for you that you're really excited to go to, but you're not really excited to the journey getting there?
I mean, Madison Square Garden, obviously, I've been to a bunch, being a Rangers and a Knicks fan and living in New York. Getting there, it's not horrible. It depends on the event. Getting out of there is very troubling. Barclays is tough to get to. Citi Field actually isn't horrible to get to. Getting out isn't. I've had times where I got out of Citi Field like that. I've had times where it took forever. I had one time it literally took me like a half hour to get out of the parking lot. It was a disaster. I was with my dad. Like, it was after a Mets game. At one point, he literally like rolled down his window, was like talking to the other cars. It's like Jesus, like, this is ridiculous.
You became BFFs, did you?
With Yankee Stadium, it's probably for me harder to get to compared to Citi Field, just location wise. And then, I mean, getting out of there, it's probably no different than Citi Field. I've been there more than I have. I've been there probably 3 or 4 times for a couple of games. I went there twice when I was younger. One of my friends who's a Yankee fan, he had his like bar mitzvah, like a party, like the party portion of it, like a few months later at what was just a Yankee game.
Mhm.
So getting out of there, kind of the same as Albee Stadium. If you luck of a draw, sometimes it's not too bad, sometimes it's really bad. But for me, getting to Yankee Stadium is probably the most. That's been the toughest one to get to for me, just based off where I'm located.
Gotcha. Hey, Maddie, how about yourself?
Okay. Let me just say for the record, I've been to 6 Yankee games this year. I'm hoping I don't go to a 7th because it's hard to get to Yankee Stadium. And the traffic coming out, especially after they win ball games, the worst part is getting out when they win. Getting in is getting out after they win. Getting in before the game is actually easy. Getting out after they win, forget about it because the fans are going to flock the streets. You got the guys selling $10 hats. You got guys who want to go to bars to drink their brains out after a victory to celebrate. Yankee Stadium is tough. But I will say I've been to a couple of Philadelphia stadiums. I've been to Wells Fargo for the Royal Rumble, which is technically a Philadelphia well, it's not a Sixers game, but it's still a sports event nonetheless. it's tough to get by in Philadelphia, and just getting there alone because you got like the three stadiums together. Like you got Citizens Bank here, you got Wells Fargo here, and you got Lincoln Financial here. So you got the triangle of terror, if you will, and it's tough to get by there in Philadelphia. Like the traffic in Philadelphia is actually more insane than you think, and the fans are just rowdy, which makes it even worse. And like Citi Field, I've never really been to Citi Field as much, but I know getting out, like I said with Yankee Stadium, like getting out of New York is harder than getting in. So that's the big problem. For me, it's Philadelphia that's actually the hardest because fans in Philadelphia just don't know how to drive. Sometimes you'll get that one idiot that just wants to pull over on the side of the road and just drive and just hug the line of the center of the road thinking that they're above the law. But that's with any place. But Philadelphia, it's actually worse.
That's true. Nobody stops at a red light or a stop sign. So,
Matt, what year did you go to the Royal Rumble? What year was it in Philly?
2018.
Oh, okay. So it was a bunch of years ago. Okay.
Yeah, we had
years ago.
we had 2008 at the Garden.
That's correct.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
I worked that. I was at ringside for that one.
Oh,
wow.
you're kidding.
Was that
I
when?
worked it.
Was that when Cena came back?
If you go back and watch Raw 30, you see me on TV when
oh wow,
Bobby Lashley was against Austin Theory, and he hit him so hard for real. It sounded like a shotgun went off, and I jumped out of my seat because I thought he was going to fall over on me. And you see me just jump up out of my chair on TV.
Wow.
Hysterical.
Raw 30, you said?
Yeah, Raw 30 at Wells Fargo. Yeah.
Well, oh, okay. Okay.
That was
yeah.
when Taker. That's when Taker came off on his bike and whispered to Bray Wyatt in his ear, and that was basically Bray Wyatt's one of his almost last times on TV. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. I don't know if you guys made your way to Western New York, but I've been in and out of Bills games, and at I guess it's now called New Era Stadium, New Era Field. I apologize. It was Ralph Wilson at the time.
Building?
That's insane.
It looks bananas. Yeah,
It
apparently
looks insane.
Yeah, apparently they cut out all the wind gusts and so on. And
yeah,
that,
they have
I mean,
snow. They actually have snow melters on the roof.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so basically, the roadway infrastructure at Ralph Wilson is literally single lane roadways that are along these houses. And I mean, I don't know what it's like at MetLife or even the Meadowlands back in the day, but it literally took like at least an hour and a half. And for a guy who had to cross the border to get back to Canada, like, I mean, that took even longer as well. It was just an absolute nightmare. So hopefully
how long of a ride is that for you?
Well, driving wise, I mean, with no issues at the border, like I have Nexus, so I could just zoom in and out of the border, split, no problem. It's 90 minutes. So I mean, it's nothing. Oh, not bad at all. No, for sure. But like I was on a bus like this one particular time and years before, just driving with friends pre-Nexus. Like we're talking at least 4 or 5 hours to get home. Definitely will be. Yeah, I'll be taking a hotel if I actually can afford a Bills game this coming season.
Gotta pay for that new stadium now.
Yeah, you sure do. Yeah, no, the Pagulas, they're smart business people, aren't they?
That's right.
But anyway, yeah, no. So obviously, hey, the stadiums are getting more and more excited these days, fellas, in Major League Baseball. The stretch drive for the playoffs is well, it's pretty much upon us, and we're definitely going to talk about our favorite teams in a moment. But you know, Sal, I do need to ask you. I mean, I don't know if there is a sport where particular times of the year, like there is such a feel, there's such an element, because when opening day for Major League Baseball happens, you get the sense that spring is around the corner, and then with September and the push for the playoffs and the World Series, and of course, you know, you want to throw in the All-Star game and so on. Now that we are in towards the end of August, I mean, is this the most exciting time of the year for you leading up to the playoffs? Or is it a different time of the year for you?
Yes. I always look forward, even with hockey. I don't really get into hockey till maybe around end of December, January, when teams are making that playoff push, that final run. Uh, of course, Maddie and I experienced it with the Yankees, and it's funny you're saying this, like being a Blue Jay fan, and Matt can concur with this one. I've always felt the Blue Jays as a threat in the American League East for years, and he knows it, and I've always picked them
You have.
year after year to challenge the Yankees and Orioles, and I'm kind of surprised with Boston this year, actually, and Toronto as well, because the Blue Jays have such a good organization. They make the right moves, and they really get off on fire, and then they start to cool off a bit at times, and they fall off. This year I said the same thing. I picked them. They started to fall a little bit. Boston started making their way. It's been a what am I looking for, Matt? What's the word we used on the show?
It's been a crazy ride.
Not just the crazy ride. It's been with the winning streaks. Everybody's on a streak now. Boston won 10. Toronto won 9 or 10. And then everybody's been going like this. And if you look at the Yankee record, and I put it on Facebook, the Yankees have been, I think, after August, I think we're 11 and 20 something this month.
Correct.
The Yankees at one point were almost 20 games over 500 in May.
Right.
And the wagon wheels just popped off. And I spoke about it numerous times. The 90s are off and done. It's time to stop with that formula. It's not working. Cashman needs to go. Boone needs to go. It's got to start from the top and work its way down. Because if you look at last year compared to this year, it's an embarrassment. To as a Yankee fan, not just a Yankee fan, the organization itself, they're nothing more than just a shell of what they used to be. I grew up, watching the Yankees since the 70s, and we've had that long break after 81, losing to the Dodgers, and then the wagon wheels fell off until 93, and the Yankees started turning things around, and you had your share of managers, of course, and it's the same story. They got rid of Joe Torre when they couldn't win no more. They made the first round, got knocked out. The whole thing with the bees and whatever those flies were in Cleveland, and it's been a mess. It's who knows if Houston actually cheated? I can't argue if they did or didn't. There's no solid
yeah,
proof.
they definitely did. Come on.
They did.
Well, they did, and it's like
I applaud your diplomacy, Sal.
there's more than meets the eye with that. They didn't really investigate further.
No.
And I've always said there was something coming out of that train in the outfield. So somebody was stealing signs somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what the Yankees need to do is Volpe is not your guy. That was just lightning in a bottle at the time. They're showing their true colors, and you can't win without pitching. Once Garrett Cole went down, don't worry about who's going to be your starting center fielder. Jazz is the guy. He's going to stay in Yankee for a while. You got the right formula now. You should have went out and gotten some pitching. They made the worst choice of having Michael King being in that Juan Soto deal. And good luck to you Met fans and your Mets, $800 million bust. So, and we said it on the show. Matt knows it. Any team that picked up that contract is going to suffer. And if the Mets can't make the playoffs or World Series within 5 years of that deal, it's a bust. It is a total bust.
Jake, we did talk about Juan Soto, and of course, Steve Cohen has bottomless pockets, and it was the second $700 million contract. And Juan Soto, he is. I did have his stat line with me. I mean, with 32 homers, 260 plus average, 78 RBIs. Of course, his salary is what it is, but would you call him a bust
No.
at this point? I hate to put you on the spot, but yeah, I mean, you're a Mets guy, and I'm assuming that you maybe were expecting a little bit more, but you can't be overly disappointed.
No, Sal's right. Not only when it comes to 5 years, not only first of all, like if you sign that deal, if you can't make a World Series in 5 years, obviously something is wrong. He does have an opt-out clause after 5 years. Now, I think any human being would be. I think any human being would be insane to turn down the amount of money that he'd be turning down in 5 years. That's also part of the reason why when they signed him, I was like, all right, this really is where the window starts, especially after the disaster that was 2023. 2024, obviously, you had the much better year. You had the crazy runs in LCS. You go out and sign him. You did whatever else you did. Like, look, I think he'd be crazy to turn down all that money. I don't know what the number would be that he would have left. But at that point, he'll be 31 years old. Like, he's not going to get a 10-year deal at 31. But that's besides the point. But yeah, he has not had the year he had last year. He had probably the best year of his career last year with the Yankees. He had 1 year in Washington. When they won the World Series, he was really freaking good. I would say last year was the best year of his career. What was he at, like 320, 32, and 115 or something like that?
Yeah, something crazy.
So he had a fantastic year. He was MVP finals. I thought he actually had a slight case. And Aaron Judge had 59 home runs, so obviously you got to give it to him. In the regular season last year, he went nuts. But that Soto had like a small case. Obviously, it's a regular season award, so it makes sense why it's judged. I wouldn't call him a bust. If he was hitting 220, obviously that's a different story. But he's overall had a very good season. Obviously, if they miss the playoffs this year, now we have a whole other conversation. If in a few years from now we're kind of in the same spot, it's a whole different conversation. I think it's a little too early to tell. I mean, the dude signed for 15 years. They have him for at least 5. And if they don't win the World Series in 5 years, then yeah, it's absolutely a bust. But until then, I'm overall happy with what they got. I'm not used to my teams going out and doing what the Mets did, so I'm happy that happened.
Well, you and me both. I mean, obviously with the Blue Jays, where they are, and we'll definitely get to them. But for this time of the year, the Jays, well, I guess like the Mets last year, they are doing some pretty cool things. But I mean, Jake, with regards to how the Mets are doing this season right now, they are in the final wild card position. What are your thoughts towards the season? I mean, do you think that they are in a good shape to hold on to a wild card spot and make it into the at least the wild card round and beyond?
I think if I was a betting man, which I am not, I would bet them to make the playoffs over the Cincinnati Reds as of right now. Them and the Yankees have actually had a really similar season. Both teams the first 2 months were just rolling. Sal alluded to how they were playing great. They were 20 games over 500, and the wheels kind of fell off. And for a solid 2 months, the Mets kind of had the same thing. The wheels completely fell off. They had a lot of injuries to the rotation. They just weren't getting any innings out of the rotation. Their bullpen got really taxed. Their offensive, they went into a big slump. And to the point where, they went from having a pretty solid lead over the Phillies in the division to almost falling out of the division to clinging to a wild card spot. But lately, they've been playing a lot better. They won these last 2 games against the Phillies. They're winning 3-0 in the 4th inning as I am saying this on August 27th. I don't know when this is going out completely. So if they win today, they'll have swept the Phillies, and that will mean they're 4 back in the division. And if the Reds lose, They'll be 4.5 up on them in the wild card. So I'm going to take them to make the playoffs. As for the division, again, if I was betting, I'd probably take the Phillies to win the division. But going into the series, I thought division seems a little far out. But not to quote Aaron Boone, but the season is right in front of them. They have 4 more games against the Phillies. They have at least one series against Cincinnati, who's chasing them. They're chasing the Cubs and the Padres in the wild card race. They have a series against them. And I think they still have a series against Washington, who isn't any good. They have a series against Miami to finish, who isn't any good. So there's no reason, even with, and they've had 2 just horrid stretches. They had one stretch where they lost 14 of 18, like right before the break. Thankfully, they ran to the Yankees, which was the kind of the cure to fix them at that point when the Yankees were playing really bad. And then they had one more where they lost like 13 of 15, actually not even that long ago. But and usually when you have every good team in baseball usually has that one stretch they just can't get out of their own way. It's a long season. 160 games is a long time. But usually when you have 2 that bad, a lot of times it kind of kills you. The Mets have been fortunate for whatever reason, whether it's the way the schedule played out or the way the division played out, for whatever reason, it hasn't killed them completely. So they got to take advantage of that. But I think they get into the playoffs.
Yeah, the 4-gamer that's Mets at Philadelphia. I mean, that'll be a real telling series in a couple of weeks. Right now, Mets are 5 games back of the Phils in the NL East. Maddie, I was going to, of course, I'll be asking about the Yankees. Sal did touch on the fact that it's been some rather difficult times. I do want to show you, however, Maddie, a quick video. Just
Oh
bear
God!
with me once again.
In trouble now, Matt.
I just okay. I hope I got this. It would definitely help if I had a producer here, but I digress.
Lineup is probably better than last year's lineup because last year's team was focused on Juan Soto, Judge, and even a little bit of Tolkien. But now you got better contributors like Trent Grisham, former Brewer, putting in the work, and he's got a couple big hits. Ben Rice in DH or even first base, he's been really good. Paul Goldschmidt, very solid, very very solid. Judge doing Judge thing, and then you got Jason Dominguez. What a spark his bat has been. Opie has his moments. Austin Wells has his moments. Third base has been kind of an issue. I know the DJ LeMahieu thing. Well, now that Cabrera's gone, he's probably gonna be out for the rest of the year. Peraza hasn't been too good. LeMahieu, they're probably rotating in and out for third base. I would like to see a little bit of improvement there, but other than that, I can't complain with that. Max Fried has been doing really well.
And it kind of goes on from there. Maddie, I believe, if memory serves me right, that was from the beginning of June. And
It was. That was the first episode of Four Square Sports. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, what exactly has happened? But I mean, there are some tumultuous times in Gotham, but I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs. Hey, Jake and I, we love you and Sal very much, but hey, we do want to see the Yankees fail. I mean, for our sakes.
It's a first-round knockout.
For the Yankees, but I mean, come on. The reality is that there are a lot of times where you don't have to win the division, though. You just have to make it to the show.
Right. Okay.
They're not, and unfortunately, they're not.
Okay, let me just get my part in here. Okay. That was said when I was on ayahuasca. I will be completely honest. I was on ayahuasca that episode.
Are you actually?
And Jake knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, the Yankees are a team that you don't know what you're going to get from them. And actually, that was before their 7 or 8 game losing streak when they ran to Boston and then things started to fall off the wagon. But it's funny. The way things are set up right now, the Yankees are projected right now to face the Boston Red Sox in the wild card. Let me tell you what will happen if that happens.
Good night.
Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bug bite. That's exactly what will happen. Because every time the Yankees get a little bit of momentum going, they run into Boston, boom. That's exactly what happens. And Boston's just a really good team. I don't know where they're getting this from. And I think they have a legitimate shot to maybe even pass the Blue Jays for first place. Don't hate me, Randy, but it's true. This team just surprised so many people out of nowhere. And Alex Cora, as much crap as you want to give him, is still one of the more underrated managers in baseball.
Maddie's right.
And
Maddie's right.
as far as the Yankees are concerned, let me tell you one thing. Anthony Volpe is a local kid. He's from New Jersey. Can this kid just leave the team, please? I've said my piece on the Discords about my feelings about Anthony Volpe. The kid has lost his spunk. He had it in his rookie year when he hit 20 homers and stole 20 bases, but now he can't even see the ball anymore. He strikes out similar to the way Giancarlo Stanton strikes out. He grounds the ball. His defense has imploded. I can't even tell you how many E6s I've seen this year. He actually leads the league in errors this year, which is insane. And when you look at that, like, why do we have Jose Caballero and we're not using him? Why do we have Ames Rosario and we're not using him? And it's pretty apparent to me that Aaron Boone just loves this kid. I don't know why, but the honeymoon phase is over. The chicken parm phase is over. I'm over it all. And another thing with the Yankees. Third base, ever since Oswaldo Cabrera has gone down, has been terrible. Ever since Oswaldo Cabrera has been down, we've had Oswald Peraza. We've had Yorbit Vivas, who we sent down. We've had DJ LeMahieu, who's now gone. And now we have Ryan McMahon, who's better defensively, but his bat is terrible. I can swing better than Ryan McMahon can. Sign me up for third base. I mean, it's just gotten to that point where the Yankees have flaws that are, like, adamantly bad. And I think against Boston, they can expose you. Same with Toronto. Because Yankee broadcast, whenever they play the Blue Jays, they say this all the time. Don't make a mistake against the Blue Jays because they will exploit you. And that's exactly what the Toronto Blue Jays did. Every other team we do pretty well against. But when we go against the Blue Jays, they kill us. When we go against the Red Sox, they kill us. Tampa Bay, we've done pretty well against. Baltimore, we have 7 more games against, but we're 3-3 against them right now. We stink against our division. I don't know why we even bother like showing up as a wild card team. We can't even beat the Rays consistently. Like, it's all a joke. And I know, like, you're showing me that video because of all that's happened. And I think it's actually hysterical, actually, in a good way. But you're muted, Randy. But
thank you. I thought it was a good talking point because obviously there was a different mindset to what the season was like when we got together at Foursquare. I mean,
we did.
Quick math. The Yankees were, what are we looking at here?
They're like one of the best
10
teams in
games
baseball
over 500. Well, yeah, they were like a good 10 games over 500.
Correct.
By the beginning of June, and the Jays. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but they didn't make their run yet. But I did want to not play, but with regards to George Springer, here's a guy that batted 220 last year. The year before that, he batted 258. RBIs last year he had 56. He already has 67 this year. This year he's batting 301. Not a lot of people had a lot of stock on John Schneider. The general manager, Ross Atkins, and the president, Mark Shapiro, I mean, they called them Shatkins. And because it's been a joke for like the 9 years and so that they've been around. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, they haven't won a playoff game as members of the Toronto Blue Jays. And Here they are. They're expected to do some really good things. Why can't that happen to the Yankees? And I'm being serious, though.
I mean, all right, so from my perspective, the Yankees they have this dark cloud over their head. They've had that dark cloud over their head since George Steinbrenner died. I don't know why this has happened, but part of it is because of the Hal Steinbrenner thing and then the Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman trio. I mean, part of that. But then it's also like basic mistakes in the playoffs. I mean, also part of it is the fact that Aaron Judge just disintegrates in the playoffs. I don't know why, but he's just a shell of himself there. And then Sal might agree with me when I say this, but everything that can go wrong in the playoffs does go wrong for the Yankees in the playoffs. And I think a lot of people want that to happen because of the 27 rings. And I know, like, how do I word this? The Yankees are the team that basically you're trying to go after this girl, and he's the most popular man in school, and he's trying to take your girlfriend away. That's what the Yankees are, and you want bad things to happen to that kind of person. So whenever something like that happens, you want karma to come back. Because the Yankees, the last time they won the World Series, 2009 against the Phillies, it was just a time where the Yankees got their 27th ring. They're back on top. There was the final curtain call, I guess, for the core four. But now with this core, like, you can see, like, Volpe has his flaws. Stanton is playoff stand, but, like, Judge just disintegrates. And like I mentioned before, like, anything that can go wrong does go wrong. That's the main thing I'll put it.
I mean, and I totally get it. And the truth is that the Yankees have been free falling, but you got to wonder if playoff experience means anything. And of course, for the most part, this Yankees team did make that World Series. Of course, it was a 5-game loss to the Dodgers.
Yep, the Dodgers. Yep.
And what did I say last year, Matt?
You said the Dodgers were going to win.
Okay. I said game 1 was the table setter.
Yes.
I said if the Dodgers beat Garrett Cole, they've got it. And that's what exactly happened.
Well, they didn't beat Garrett Cole. They beat Nestor Cortez.
No, they won't. Well, the
Brought him in
Yankees
the face, Freddie Freeman. Oh my, that was so funny. I was laughing at my two Yankees fans from the whole series. That was a put him in the end of that game.
So much transparency on this show. I love it. I love the transparency.
No, I mean it really is great to have Yankee fans and Jake being the Met fan. I mean, just like the whole dynamic of this New York rivalry. No, it's really great on this Canadian podcast, which is even better. So, we will talk about, and there was a couple of things I did want to get to with realignments. What kind of changes are we going to see with regards to some new divisions in Major League Baseball potentially? But Jake, with everything that the Mets did, and with the trade deadline coming and gone, like, I mean, how do you think that the Mets are in good shape? Like, with the addition of Juan Soto and so on. Like, I mean, Edwin Diaz is back. What do you think? Like, I mean, you did say that they were going to make the playoffs, but do you think that they did all they could do in bolstering their lineup for the stretch drive?
I think offensively, at the time they were really struggling going into that deadline, and a lot of fans were kind of saying, "Oh, they should have gotten a better bat than Cedric Mullins," which I don't think anyone had a problem with them picking him up. He's a good center fielder. He's hit well since he's got to the Mets. He's got some power, but I feel like their lineup was too talented to not just come into form. You have Juan Soto, you have Pete Alonso, who they need to sign him to a lifetime contract. That guy's the man. And Brandon Nimmo is really good. Lindor's great. He's been on a heater, and just the way they've been hitting lately is kind of what was the expectation at the beginning of the year. A lineup that can hurt you 1 through 9, is deep, has length to it, has depth off the bench. So I think the lineup they've done more than enough, and they spent $800 million on a hitter. I can't ask for much more. And they hit well last year, and you had Juan Soto. Obviously you brought back Pete Alonso, so I think they've done enough in the lineup. If they could go back and do one thing over, maybe it will address the rotation a little bit more. Last year they kind of brought in a bunch of guys, kind of slapped them together, and was like, "Oh, hope this works." And it actually kind of did. The rotation overall was very solid. They kind of did the same this year. Clay Holmes is actually, surprisingly to me, I wasn't sure how that was going to work out. He overall has been pretty good. which has been a good sign. I wasn't sure how that was going to work. He's been relatively good. The one that hurts was bringing Frankie Montas. He's been really bad, and he just got hurt. He actually might need Tommy John. So his season's probably over. Well, no, season is over. Next year might be over, which might be his career, unfortunately. I know you guys are these Yankee fans. You kind of saw it's kind of where the injuries really start to pile up for him. Fortunately, if Tommy John at this point might be a wrap for him, unfortunately. I think what's really rough is that Jose Quintana pitched him last year, had a solid year, and they let him go. He signs with the Brewers. He didn't get paid a whole lot of money, and he's had a good year. And the Mets went out and signed Montas for even more money, and he was dreadful. I think that's what kind of hurts. And also, Noel McLean's pitching right now. He's pitching great. He's looked really good since coming up. He should have been up a month earlier than he was. I don't understand when this guy was dominating the minor leagues. Joe Matton was dominating the minor leagues. He's coming up on this Friday, 2 days from right now. And these guys should have been up a month ago when half the rotation was hurt. 65% of the rotation was on the injured list. At one point, it was David Peterson, Clay Holmes, and then just fill in the blanks because so many guys were hurt. They had guys, Paul Blackburn, who just got lit by the Yankees. When the Yankees claimed him, every Mets fan was a combination of laughing and confused. Like, this guy is so bad. At one point, he was like a replacement for the replacement, and then he got hurt. Like, they've been really unlucky with that. And so they would probably adjust the rotation a little bit more, but I think they did enough to address the offense.
Jake, as we've obviously been talking about the Soto signing and so on, I want to put you on the spot here. And how much of a hole did the Mets possibly put themselves in by offering that kind of money to Juan Soto? I mean, now Lindor, he signed through 31. Nimmo signed till 2030. But with regards to free agents potentially signing Nimmo and, if maybe you can sign Lindor, I don't know. Are free agents going to look at that Soto contract, in your opinion, and say, well, Juan Soto's getting $765 million. Why am I going to take, 70 cents on the dollar? Do you think that there's going to be more $500+ million contracts or that kind of expectation specifically in New York with the Mets because of that albatross with Juan Soto? What do you think? Have you thought about that at all?
I've thought about it. It's got to take a special kind of player. Like, obviously, Ohtani got $700 million, and by the way, the reason I'm kind of with Sal, I don't think we'll get one that big. It's because Shohei Ohtani is the best player in the league. He's doing things that have never been done before, and when he signed, people were like, "Whoa, what on earth?" Juan Soto is an amazing player. When he signed for $765, and people were like, "Whoa, that's insane." So I know,
and I get that, Jake. And sorry to interrupt, but I mean, if you're a top level free agent, and it's not so much about comparing Soto's contract to all potential major league suitors, but is there going to be an expectation to get somewhat comparable dollars with the Mets, and that the Mets are not going to be able to afford it? I know that Steve Cohen is so freaking wealthy, and that money's of no consequence to him. But I mean, how many more $500+ million contracts can you have? I guess I know I'm jumping around here a little bit, but could that top level free agent just simply go elsewhere because so much has been assigned to Soto?
Let me tell you something. The Mets owner is worth $22 billion. When he bought the Mets, he was worth $14 billion. He bought the Mets in 2020, I believe. He bought the Mets 5 years ago, and he was worth $14 billion. Now he's worth $22 billion. Remember, there's also no salary cap in baseball. We're going to get to the salary cap, I believe, a little bit later. So I won't go too deep into that. But mean, the guy, he can do whatever he wants financially, Steve Cohen. It's his baseball team. It's not my money that he's spending. So, to be honest, I don't really care. He, if he wants to throw $1 billion on Paul Skeens in 4 years, be my guest. It's not my money. So I don't see how it would happen him. Obviously, if we're in a salary cap sport, that's a whole lot different. That's why these contracts are subloaded in MLB. Again, we'll get to that a little bit. I believe we are going to talk about the salary cap later in the show, but I don't see how it's going to be an issue. There's no salary cap, and the guy's got more money than anybody, and he obviously doesn't care about spending money.
Sal, Matt, how about you guys? I mean, between Soto's contract and Shohei Ohtani's, obviously, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signed for big dollars here in Toronto. Is that contract, especially with the Mets and the Dodgers, going to prevent top free agents from signing with those two teams specifically? I know that there's no salary cap, but if you have a more better statistics than say Juan Soto, because Shohei Ohtani is just on a planet all by himself, but if you have that kind of production, maybe a potentially greater production than Juan Soto, why not try and get $600 million? And of course, Steve Cohen can potentially afford that, but how many more players are going to request that kind of money and just maybe simply get it with another team, or perhaps, despite how much Steve Cohen has in the bank account, that there is going to be a ceiling and that he is going to have to pump the brakes a little bit. What do you guys think?
Sal, you want to go first?
Yeah. Let's take a look. I don't know who's a free agent this coming year. And a lot of it's got to do with the history of whatever organization. Dodgers, Yankees, Mets. I think Juan Soto wanted something more out of the Yankees. He got with the Mets, a private suite, whatever was going on. I don't get into the particulars. I'm glad that Vlad went back to Toronto, that they didn't get rid of him, because I don't think everybody would have been sitting in that ballpark right now after the nice renovations that they did. Vlad is the face of that team. He's got to stay. They got to build a team around him, just like with the Mets. It would be sad that the polar bear might walk away after this year. They waited long enough, the Mets, to sign the poor guy. I don't think he's happy about it, but only time will tell. The Yankees, I think, stopped with big contracts after A-Rod and John Carlo.
Right.
They're not doing it no more. Hal is not his dad. Poor George is probably turning over in his plot somewhere in the outfield. Probably broke through the wall.
Sal, I guess, and before you continue, is that like the Red Sox? I mean, they had a lot of big contracts, and all of a sudden, they got rid of Mookie Betts, they got rid of Bogarts, they got rid of, I mean, obviously they're having a renaissance year this year, but a lot of people thought that it was going to be a bit of they got rid of Rafael Devers. I mean, they thought that it was going to be some really lean years in Boston. At least I, for one, did. And
yeah, we all did. Yep.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that the Red Sox were once a freewheeling franchise as well, and then they had to scale it back. It's really interesting. I don't know. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Well, Alec, Maddie and Carl spoke about it. Something is going on in Boston that none of us know, or us four guys, besides probably other sports shows behind closed doors, that Devers left. Was it him, or is it the organization itself? You brought in Alex Bregman, which was a shock to me. I didn't think Alex Bregman was going to be a Red Sox. I literally thought he was going to go back to Detroit, and that team is the team to watch. After they swept Houston last year, and the way they're playing this year, that's my sleeper team right now. There's something going on in Boston we don't know about. The Cuban Missile is there. He's just a train wreck. Do you really trust him? But like we were talking about with the free agents, and you said salary cap, which we'll get into later on. The Dodgers have become the Yankees of the '90s, and they're buying and buying and buying and buying. Right now, San Diego is on their heels, and they were in first place for a little bit, San Diego, and now the Dodgers. It's been the Wild West, as we would call it. An organization getting rid of all your top players like Devers and Betts and all those guys. And the Yankees did the same. The Yankees are rebuilding. It's unfortunate. We're in the rebuild years now. The Mets, Uncle Stevie's doing the right thing. You know, I worked for the Mets from 2002 to the first year at Citi Field doing security. And a lot of Met fans did not like Fred Wilpon. Not one bit. Just like if you're a Knicks fan, and you know where I'm coming from, Jake, nobody likes Dolan.
Nope.
And a lot of people aren't going to know this. Probably Jake does. They're trying to get Dolan out of there. They want to move the Garden again after all these renovations. The man has not paid property tax on that building whatsoever. He was grandfathered into that from his family. So the city's been trying to mess around with Jim. Don't look at the guy, don't say hello kind of thing. That's how he is. And us three being from the metropolitan area, good old Gotham City. And if you look at the teams, the Rangers, the Knicks, the Mets, the Yankees, and the championships and who was on those teams, and like you guys say, the Yankee fans, okay, we won all those championships, but look at the guys who were on the team when we won those championships. And look at the years when we didn't win. When you had the Giambino, Jason Giambi, you had the other great pitcher, Mike Mussina, you had all those, and the Yankees still haven't won anything. So like the Dodgers, you could buy anybody you want, and we said it on the show, you could be 162-0, hit 100 home runs, drive in 500 runs, but if you're not that man in the playoffs or World Series, you're nothing.
Maddie, how about you? I don't know if you have any additional comments, but with those contracts, and I mean, obviously it's going to be a gradual process that we're going to see more $500+ million contracts. Off the top, I can't remember what Bryce Harper signed for, but a lot of people thought that he was going to get a big ticket.
Right.
And now to the point where it's $700 million. And at this point, there is no salary cap in Major League Baseball. But if I did have comparable offensive numbers to Shohei Ohtani, and he's getting that kind of money, let alone Juan Soto, that I would want that kind of money, especially when it came to the Dodgers and the Mets. What's going to happen with Bo Bichette? Is he worth what, $500-600 million? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
All right. So one of the things I've said on this show previously is that Ohtani got the money he deserved, and there's a reason why. Because he's not just a brilliant batter; he's a brilliant pitcher too. He got the $700 million because he plays both ways very well. And then I also said that contract was great for him, but it was also a sign of what have you done to Major League Baseball? Because now everyone's going to be asking for that contract, and nobody can do what Shohei Ohtani does. So when Juan Soto asks, I want more than Shohei Ohtani money, then that's going to ultimately create a problem because he is asking for more for a right fielder, a subpar right fielder, if that, who's got a good bat. And a subpar right fielder with a good bat is getting more than a guy who can play two ways brilliantly. That's the way I see it. And it's amazing to me that Juan Soto and more people are going to be asking for this. So apparently Vlad Guerrero Jr., if his signing bonus goes through, he'll get like $800 million. Apparently it's like $500 million plus another $300 million extra. I forget where that's coming from, but it's going to be a lot. And think of it. If we get to $1 billion contract at some point, it's going to be crazy because $1 billion, my God, I'd love $1 billion. But I'm not sure if we'll ever get that kind of contract. Like if we ever get that kind of contract, then Major League Baseball is going to be on their financial heels because you can only make so much money through concessions and ticket sales and you name it, and parking passes, that you're going to have to make all that up somehow. And they might bump up the cost of concessions and all that nonsense. But again, like, money is a powerful tool. We know this. And can you imagine if we get like $1 billion contract? But like, I don't know if that contract is going to happen. And this is where the salary cap will come into play, because I don't know if you can afford to pay someone that kind of money. But like, it's kind of amazing to me. Two-way players are getting $700 million, and then a subpar right fielder getting $765. That's how I see it. Like, people are getting overpaid to the max. Unless someone comes along and can prove that they can play both ways, which was rare to find in Major League Baseball nowadays, we're not going to get that kind of contract ever again. You're muted. You're muted.
Man, I always do this. And yeah, I do agree with you, Matt. And to echo Jake's point, it does seem that Paul Skeens is a kind of cat that may not spend his entire career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And if he does get to market and there's still no salary cap, somebody like Steve Cohen will certainly spend top dollar times a few more to potentially land him. So could it be a very lucrative free agent period when free agent season does start in Major League Baseball?
Now,
Sal, sorry, please.
Now it's interesting. I mentioned Ohtani of it all. Keep in mind, before we even had the universal DH, pitchers were batting at one point for the National League. So keep that in mind. Like, that was a thing in the past, but now the universal DH just eliminated pitchers from batting, and it's
thank God. I mean, sorry, please, Matty, go ahead.
Because it eliminates awesome moments like Bartolo Colon's only home run of his career. But
come on, I mean, really, like, how many times has that happened? Jake, as a sorry, Matt, to cut you off, but while the kettle's hot, as a National League fan, Jake, do you want the pitchers back at bat and batting again, or are you happy with the DH? Because for me, it's just ridiculous how pitchers bat. Forgive me, for going against the tradition, but I'm ecstatic that the NL included the DH in their lineup.
I get what you're saying, but also it takes a lot of the strategy out of the game. When it comes to a pitcher's up to bat 6th, 7th inning, they're pitching really well, but it's 1-0. Do I leave he's only got 80 pitches. Do I pinch hit for him to try and take the lead or extend the lead or try and come back? So to me, the game was more exciting when pitchers hit, because it takes the strategy out of the game. And look, the reason these guys are so bad at hitting is because, if they, unless they were a hitter in college, some guys are, kind of transfer over. Like Jacob deGrom, for example, was a very good hitting pitcher. He was a shortstop
Madison
in high school,
Bumgarner,
right? Madison Bumgarner was another one. Carlson Brown going back a smidge further into the 2000s with the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cubs were really bad before 2016 year happened. Was another one. So they did exist, just like, they didn't really hit much in college, and they don't hit in the minors. To me, it could have been an easy fix. You could have them hit in the minor leagues. I never got why they didn't do that. And look, the universal DH is never going to go anywhere ever. But there's something about the pitcher's hitting that it takes strategy out of the game when you take the bat out of the pitcher's hands completely. And and there's so many great moments from. There were times as a Mets fan, those really bad Mets years where it was Zach Wheeler, where it was Jacob deGrom. There were times these guys would go have a complete game shutout, win 1-0, and the one run was a home run they hit. So you lose those moments, and you lose a lot of strategy.
Fair enough. Maddie, sorry to cut you off, but you were saying.
So pitchers hitting, we don't see that too much anymore thanks to the universal DH. But now because of the Ohtani rule, we're seeing that. But like I said, until someone comes in who can prove that they can pitch and hit at a high level, no other player deserves that kind of contract that Juan Soto got. I'm sorry. And the reason why I'm saying is because if you're awesome in both ways, you deserve the money that you're getting paid. But if you're a right fielder and you have subpar defense and you can hit the ball really well, great, good for you. But that doesn't mean you're worth $800 million. Now, as far as the how I feel about the whole pitching thing, I actually kind of like that. There were a very handful of pitchers that were actually good at hitting. Like we mentioned, Madison Bumgarner. And then also like Bartolo Colon had the blind squirrel found the nest that one time. But other than that, it was like it's very rare to find a good pitcher that can hit. And Ohtani's also one of them. But again, I'd rather see a two-way player get $700 million than a right fielder get $800 million, if that makes any sense.
Sure. No, it does. But I'm thrilled that they got rid of it. To me, pitcher's batting is like the e-bug in hockey. Getting some scrub Zamboni driver being the hockey goal. Like, I mean, and maybe if I was a fan of a National League team, maybe I would think differently. But anyway, I could definitely see the strategy when pitchers were batting before in the National League. Sal, before we move away from the baseball field, I did want to get your thoughts, not so much of the Jays, the team itself, but with regards to just the coverage of the Toronto Blue Jays in the United States. I mean, Jake and Matt know my insecurity of how my teams are being covered south of my border. And, there does seem to be a lack of recognition, say, for the Toronto Raptors. I mean, they, of course, won the championship in 2019, and Christmas being a big day for the NBA calendar. And the Raptors playing on Christmas Day in 2020 was the first time that they had a game on December 25th since 2001, despite making the playoffs 10 straight years and a couple of conference finals. I don't really get that sense with the Blue Jays in baseball, even though there has been such a big gap in playoff success, and it's been over 30 years when they won back-to-back World Series. It does seem that the Blue Jays does get a little bit of cred. What are your thoughts? I mean, are the Jays getting the kind of exposure over the years? Especially with the ESPNs, the Fox Sports, and American coverage of Major League Baseball?
Let's put it this way. Not just baseball itself. I think it's every sport that's out there, including hockey and football and basketball. Coverage has changed drastically over the years on television. We had the Yankees on PIX Channel 11, the Mets being on WOR Channel 9, and then I'm showing my age now. You had Monday Night Baseball on Channel 7 with the same guys who do Monday Night Football back in the day with Cosell and all those guys.
Sure.
And then the Yankees moved to Channel 2, CBS, and then they went to Fox 5, back to Channel. It's now become the way social media has become over the years. And we're at a prime example of it, like I said, before we came on. Sports radio is done. There is nothing. I enjoy listening to Boomer and Gio on the Fan. I've been listening to WFAN when they first started, way back in the day. And you had to listen really at night to Yankee games. And then the Mets were on the Fan, and then everybody. It's become now a money game. With all these streaming apps now, I get MLB coverage on my T-Mobile phone because T-Mobile gives you coverage free for the entire baseball season, and then when the season's over, that's it, and so on and so on.
Okay.
A lot of people, I'm 58, and a lot of people my age and a little older, so we don't know how to work these streaming apps, and you got to get an Amazon Prime for this, you got to get Roku to watch that. And remember, baseball tried Facebook not too long ago with covering games live on Facebook, and MLB Network took over the whole thing when they first came out over ESPN. That's why they dropped their baseball coverage at one time. And we had the Wednesday night baseball games with Matt. Who were the two announcers back then?
Oh God, Sal,
Joe Morgan, and the guy from the Giants.
John Miller.
Oh, John
Yes.
Miller, Frank Gill. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday night baseball. Well, that's what I grew up on. Actually,
They they were doing Wednesday and Sunday, I believe. I missed the whole home run derby calls. Back, gone.
Chris
You know,
Berman.
Chris Berman, yeah.
I missed that. And Jake knows. Like I said, I'm going to show my age. The Yankees and Mets used to meet in a thing called the Mayor's Trophy game every year, where one year it'd be Yankee Stadium, and one year it'd be at Shea, and they have a trophy, the Mayor's Trophy. And
this was an exhibition game.
yes, it was an exhibition game. They would give a nice crowd. Okay. They would get a nice crowd. It was
nice.
However, they worked it back in the day. I was at Yankee Stadium when Tom Seaver got his 300th win as a White Sox. I saw that. I saw Dwight Gooden's no-hitter against Seattle. So now everything's become Amazon Prime. Who's got Roku? The Yankees are blocked if they're on this channel, on this side. So I know where you're coming from with being in Canada and the whole debacle with the strike and losing the Expos. I honestly believe in my heart that Canada should get the next team after losing the Expos. I really believe so. I think it would be good for baseball to bring a team back up to the border.
I know we're kind of straying off into the tangent here, like a different sort of thing, but I don't know about the Expos in Montreal. I mean, I am really more intrigued about Vancouver, and I could appreciate that you may not, have thought about Vancouver, but obviously as a Canadian, like with Montreal in 1994, I mean, obviously they were robbed of a potential playoff
against and it would have been the
Yankees.
It would have been the Yankees.
It would have been the Yankees. Yeah. I mean, Pedro Martinez was not the ace of the Expos in 1994. It was Ken Hill. But
it would have been a good series.
But look at that stadium. And I mean, look how it just disintegrated into like 2,000 fans, Sal. In Montreal. I mean, obviously you have such a cluster of teams in the North American Northwest there with Toronto, Boston, both New Yorks, maybe Philadelphia if you want to include that part.
It's a shame because now the Rays have become what the Expos were, and it's a shame. Florida's not a baseball city. Spring training, I could say, leave it as a spring training area. It's not meant for a major league team. The Marlins have a beautiful ballpark. Unfortunately, it looks like a spaceship in the middle of nowhere in Miami.
I heard it's in a bad part. I heard it's in a bad part of town.
That's very accurate.
If you're watching Lost in Space, that's what it looks like. So leave Florida as your spring training facilities. Get the teams out of there. It's unfortunate that they can't draw a crowd, even when you were in the playoffs. If you were in the playoffs, they didn't really get a crowd. If you played the Yankees, it would sell out, but they would blacken the upper deck and get like 7,000 people. That's their sellout. It's unfortunate what they did with the Oakland A's. Nobody goes any. It's a shame. But getting back to your Expos, that whole strike, and I know I'm gonna go way ahead. If there is another strike in baseball, that is it. It's over. Nobody's coming back to watch any of the games.
Really, you think so?
Yep.
Oh no, Randy, you gotta understand. When we had the
it's
2022
coming.
strike, which took 99 days to get resolved.
Sure.
After next year,
Sure.
they better get working because
Yeah.
we might go into another
I'm
stoppage
telling you,
again.
when the 2022 strike happened, fans were throwing away merchandise, burning their stuff. It was bad.
It was bad.
I-
It was bad.
It's gonna be bad now because look at the money people are spending to go on an MLB game. Now I go on an app called SeatGeek. Okay, SeatGeek is the best thing to buy tickets. When I was still in Philly, I wasn't working a game. The woman I was seeing at the time was. I bought tickets behind home plate the day of the game with waiter service for $100. The guy in front of me waited for the first pitch. He got the same seats for 80. So there's ways of getting tickets at a reasonable price the day of a game. But if they do go on strike, hey, I'd rather go see the Somerset Patriots or the Brooklyn Cyclones or whoever and enjoy myself at a minor league game, not paying all that money and stuff. Because like I said, and Jake agrees.
But
Baseball.
how many people are like you though, Sal? Because beyond minor league baseball, I mean the WNBA is exploding with a lot of new fans. Major League Soccer is what it is. I mean, baseball just has such a different feel to it now, where the games are shorter, and there are whether it's more exciting. I mean, now you're seeing a lot more personality with more elaborate bat flips and shorter games, and there is a potential
the Savannah Bananas.
and so
Yep.
on. I mean, baseball just seems to be doing a lot of right things and are changing the rules. Now, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know how you're able to adjust if you are a traditionalist, if you do like the new changes with baseball. I don't even know if this is relevant, but I mean, what else is there really to do in a sporting front? Can WNBA just take away all those fans from Major League Baseball if there's a strike?
I will tell you one thing, and you're gonna think I'm crazy. I've been a WWE fan for about 40 years. I've been watching since the late 70s.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Oh yeah.
how crazy is it that a WWE event sells out and a baseball game that went on in the same city didn't?
But when you're talking about WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, that's one thing.
It was just a regular show.
What was it?
I believe it was I think it was a Monday Night Raw. They were in Cincinnati, and they drew more fans than the Reds game.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay, no. But baseball's never been a revenue generated.
And that's where all this streaming comes in.
Right.
And NFL's doing the same thing. They're trying to lure us in big time.
Right.
And now we had a discussion on our show. Who's going to go to London first to expand? Is it baseball or is it football?
Oh, I don't see that happening in baseball. I mean,
or
I know that
NBA, one of them.
No, well, maybe baseball might. But actually, no. I mean, with baseball, you're going to tell a team like San Francisco to go to London to play a 3-game series and then come back. Like, I mean, it just doesn't seem logistically feasible.
It's gonna happen. Now you're talking logistically, and Matt knows we touch on scheduling, and the schedules are out already for next year, which is mind-boggling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I can't
like-
believe the full Met schedule is out. It's wild.
Yeah, they released the schedule yesterday for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they did yesterday. I want to be a fly in that room. I want to sit down with these people. I'm going to be clean. And I want to look at them and shake my head. It's like, how do you do this now? How do you know what team is going to go where? Because Matt is laughing because we did this on the show.
Yep.
You had a Yankee team go from New York to the West Coast, back down to Florida to go back up east again.
Right.
So how are you going to include London? How are you
I'm
going to
saying,
include London in
I'm
Major League
talking
Baseball?
geographically how they work these schedules. Now, the Mets, Yankees, and Phillies are lucky next year because the All-Star game being in Philly. The Phillies are going to be home for those 2 weeks. The Mets are staying there because they're playing the Phillies after the All-Star break. And the Yankees are going right back home. So if you look at the new schedules out and you look at the map and go, well, how the heck are they doing? Why such a short 3-game series central? You're playing the West Coast teams, but you're going this way again to go back down. Some geographically with these schedules don't make sense, and I feel bad for these ball players. But like I said, the NFL and the MLB are trying to make money any which way they can. And it wasn't true. It's not the Phillies and Mets next year. It's the Phillies and Twins doing the thing. Everybody thought it was Mets.
And to expand
London
on
series.
Salah's point about geographics and all that, that's probably why we've seen these proposals about realignment and a possible expansion.
Yes.
For Major League Baseball. That's probably why we're seeing all this come out now. Because I think Rob Manfred, in his final 4 years as commissioner, because he's going to be gone after 2028,
Thank God.
He's probably trying to figure out how can we make Major League Baseball geographically convenient, expand, and realign the divisions.
Not the way they want to do it. I mean, there's been cockamamie ways that let's put the Yankees, Mets, Phillies in one division. No. I mean, you already got 2 Texas teams in the same division. A lot of people on here or listening don't know that the Brewers used to be an American League team. The Braves used to be in the West.
Yep.
It used to be Yankees, Indians, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Orioles. Who else?
Tigers.
Tigers. Yes, the Tigers.
Used to be in the East. I mean,
Yeah.
Why do the 5? Go back to the 7. But the last 2 expansion teams were who? The Marlins and the Rockies.
That's correct.
The Diamondbacks and D-Rays.
Oh, Diamondbacks came first. Yeah, the Diamondbacks came before.
The Rockies, who used to be a hockey team back in the day, who became the New Jersey Devils, moved here.
Wow.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I remember that. I don't remember that, but I did know that. Well, hey,
listen, you call me old. I feel bad for the fans as a whole. As you being a Jay fan and us being in New York, we don't have the access to TV watching games like we used to back in the day. That's the whole point. And it's like they're shutting out a lot of fans is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, that part I completely agree with. I remember because here in Toronto, they did have WGN and watching Harry Carey,
I remember
TBS
that.
and the Atlanta Braves. We did have TBS and the Braves games as well. And with Major League Soccer, like I'm a soccer fan, and when MLS moved to Apple TV, like there
you go. I forgot about
soccer's
that one.
Yeah, soccer's just an afterthought now. And, to your point, and I saw Jake and Matt's reaction because, I'm of that age as well, Sal, being 46, like where streaming is just such a completely different thing. And, I don't want to spend X amount of dollars for Apple and then X amount of dollars for
cable's going to be
Amazon and then DAZN.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I have my apps like on my Disney Plus. Because of Marvel, I got this because I want to watch that. Peacock because of the WWE now, which is going to ESPN and that $1 billion deal. Like I said, it's all about money. It's who's going to throw the most at me. It's like the 4 of us or announcers will throw a team out there for your Blue Jays. Okay, guys, Jake and Randy, we're going to use you on this TV. Matt and Sal, go over there. We got a new deal with these guys. And it's like now we're all over the place instead of as a whole.
Yeah. But, hey, unless if something is done or maybe they're going to have to hit rock bottom to realize, and who knows what the viewership ratings are like these days. But as subscriptions per month are what they are, how are John Q. Public supposed to spend that kind of dough for each and every sport?
Yeah. Randy, I got to ask
Anyway.
you a question.
Yes, sir.
Being a Jays fan, you had those renovations go on at your stadium. Are you happy of what they did? Is it convenient now to what it was, or is it the same?
Absolutely. I got to tell you, Sal, the truth is that, I mean, there was a new car smell. I remember Jay's game at the old barn, Exhibition Stadium.
Oh,
If you could picture
is that when Dave
that.
Winfield hit the Seagull?
Yes, and Jake, Matt, if you if you don't know what Exhibition Stadium looks like, it's
It was
an
weird. It was weird.
absolute
Yep.
disgrace.
It
And
was
they were
like
there
it
for
went long this way in the outfield. I think it was center field was like the furthest or something like that, if I recall.
yeah. Well, I mean, basically, it was the same stadium where the Toronto Argonauts Canadian Football League team played, and the field was the football field was cut off with the home run fence, and there was no seats from basically right center field onward. It was just an absolute disaster. And there was of course a new car smell with now called Rogers Center, with the retractable roof and the 50,000 seats. And at that time the Jays were winning, and they were winning World Series. Joe Carter hit the game-winning home run at Skydome, and but it was just way too cavernous. It was not conducive to watching a baseball game. Like if you go along foul territory there, close to the foul line, like you have to turn your neck essentially 60 degrees one way to see home plate. Now they just now all seats are pointing to home plate. They have a couple of bars where you could actually get a general admission, no seats, but you can get general admission for $20. And it's a party now. And the renovations, it was definitely well needed. And it's maybe they caught lightning in a bottle because the Jays are doing so well, but it's a great vibe there, and the renovations have really enhanced it. The Jays did a really great job with those renos, for sure.
Right, and Jake would know this. When Citi Field first opened, nobody liked it because Wilpon went to my old high school in Brooklyn called Lafayette High School, where Johnny Franco came from. Reminded everybody of the old Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, and they only had displayed Brooklyn Dodgers stuff in the rotunda, and a lot of people were pissed off and let their voices be heard, and it's changed. And it's a nice stadium. I remember when it first opened, working there, and the whole what's that restaurant in center field? Shake Shack. Shake Shack.
Yes.
The line for Shake Shack there is
oh my god, dude, it's ridiculous.
Totally insane. They threw Ron Darling out there, I think the first time the stadium opened, or it was Keith Hernandez, to wait on that line. They couldn't believe the sight there. It was nuts.
I used to I love Shake Shack. Like when I was younger, and I would go to Mets games, I'd be like, Dad, let's go with Shake Shack. He'd be like, dude, we're gonna miss the whole game.
We're gonna miss. It's true. He said, we'll wait all 9 innings.
Exactly.
But the point is, make the fans happy. Have more generational fans come, like our family, like our kids. If we have, like I do, or when you guys get married and have kids, you want to celebrate. I'll be honest with you, I do not like the new Yankee Stadium at all. Old school. And when you went to the old stadium, you felt the ghost in that one. This one, you don't feel anything. So it's like, I don't know.
Right.
But if the Yankees do find the winning formula again, maybe history can be made. Actually, guys, I did go to one of the last games at Yankee Stadium. It was against the White Sox, and just the history of that park. I mean, seeing it on TV as many times as I did, and just to be there.
Yeah.
It was against the White Sox, and I actually I was sitting in left field. And I screamed out Cracker Jacks, and the vendor chucked a bag of Cracker Jacks. I caught it with my left hand, and I'm like, And I'm like, yeah, this is Yankee Stadium. I mean, this is baseball. This is the history of the game.
Did you go outside where all the sporting, like Stan Sports World owns basically everything out there under the L, and probably the only place, and I had mentioned this in Philly when I worked at the Philly games and working in the team store, is like the Yankees sell opposing teams' jersey. Like if your Blue Jays are there, you could go into one of their sports stores. You could get a Vlad Guerrero or a Bouchette jersey and a
You're
hat.
kidding.
Where opposed to, they got everybody there. Like the big name player. Now, I said to the people in Philly, I was like, you wanted to make money here. And somebody must have heard me, because when the Dodgers were in town finally, they made a shirt with Ohtani and Bryce Harper on it together.
Okay.
So,
Okay, like a T-shirt. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Somebody's listening, but even at Madison Square Garden, if Jake remembers, they used to be, before they redesigned it, that one right in the lobby was this big sports store with all hockey and baseball jerseys. They had everybody there, any opposing player's jersey and stuff. So it's like, if team like Ohtani, you sell his jersey somewhere, cha-ching, Judge, boom, Soto on the Mets or Alonso. So it's all about marketing and networking. Network like we're doing now, networking. It's the key to get out there to say, hey, I had a great time with this guy, Randy. You got to listen to this, and vice versa. You got to listen to Jake on here, and Maddie on here, and me on here. It's all about networking, and that's the key for guys like us to reach the masses and have them enjoy us. It's almost the same thing.
I echo your sentiments. You never know who's listening, and you never know who'd be able to extend their hand. And
right,
to go out there, guys. No, Sal's 100% correct. I did want to ask very quickly. I mean, we did touch on expansion. Sal, you commented on whether Montreal or should get a team or not. We had a brief touch up on that. Jake, Matt. Jake, why don't we start with you? With regards to expansion, is it possible that Major League Baseball will get to 32 teams? Do you think that it is ripe for the taking, that there are a couple of cities out there that can host and have a Major League Baseball team? If so, who do you think?
If they're going to do it, we mentioned earlier Vancouver. That would probably make sense. We should probably put another team in Canada. I've heard Salt Lake City and Utah thrown around. I feel like I've heard that thrown around for in hockey too. I don't know how I feel about that one. Utah's just, this is just kind of an odd place for anything. I feel like I've heard from the Utah Jazz that the fans over there are just really they say some vile stuff. I mean, there's a lot of really kooky characters over there. A lot of Mormons, obviously. They're a kooky group. I don't see why we need to expand in baseball. We have 30 teams. They're bringing crazy. They brought in like $22 billion in revenue like a year ago. I don't understand why we need expansion. Like I remember. Maybe it was The Athletic. They put out like a realignment idea. I almost threw up in my own mouth looking at it. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I think it's.
What was your problem?
Just everything. This is the way the divisions they had, and like hypothetically of like if they were to realign, because at the Little League World Series Classic game between the Mets and the Mariners,
right?
That the booth, that Sunday night baseball booth. You might as well watch the game on mute. They are absolutely dreadful. Sacramento University, where I went to school, puts on better broadcasts than them on a daily, as does where Matt went to school at Ryder. It's dreadful. They don't even talk about the game. Like at one point, David Cohn was was being asked by a water press, something about like how like Japanese pitchers have like a different windup than American pitchers. Because I guess it was Dodgers game, and somebody, or maybe it was a Cubs game, and Shiro Imanaka was pitching.
Right.
I'm watching it. I was like, David Coe, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't give a crap. Announce the game.
But wait a minute, that
anyway.
has nothing to do with expansion.
No,
You're talking
but-
about poor broadcast, but because Jake, whether Vancouver has the infrastructure, I think that they do. A team in the Pacific Northwest, but what about Nashville? What about Portland, Oregon? I think that Nashville, especially. Actually, I was on a roundtable a month ago, and one of the guys who is he's in Mississippi. And he suggested the Grizzlies move from Memphis to Nashville, and Nashville seems to be exploding. Why not have a Major League Baseball team there? I do think that there are gems out there. Louisville, Kentucky. Obviously, Louisville is such a small town. You guys could comment it better than me, but Louisville is already synonymous with the slugger, with the baseball bat. I don't know, Jake. What do you think?
I think right now expanding is stupid. I don't want to see it. I think it's pathetic. I think it's dumb. I think it's horrible. I don't really want to see expansion in baseball. I just don't think we need it. I get it in basketball, maybe. It's been talked about. It feels like for 6 or 7 years in basketball. Maybe we get that. We've been talking about it for a while in hockey. I don't see the point of it happening in baseball right now. And I really don't think it's going to happen. Remember, Rob Manfred is leaving that office in about 3 years. When his contract ends. I'm really not sure if we're gonna get really any progress with that as long as he's running the show. Maybe when he leaves, thank God, and somebody else gets in there. Maybe if they have a different outlook on things, maybe the talks get going. But I don't see the point right now, and I don't see it happening for a while.
Maddie, what do you think?
So my opinion about expansion right now, I think you need to explore your options, and I think it'll take into greater effect. Those getting a bigger magnifying glass on expansion after Rob Manfred leaves, because right now Rob Manfred's big goal is to get this new CBA agreement done in 2027 or 2026, whatever that may be. And my thing with expansion is there's 4 locations: Salt Lake City, Utah, Portland, Oregon, Nashville, Tennessee, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Sal would know this because on a previous episode years ago, we had a businessman from Charlotte, North Carolina on, and they were talking about, and that guy talked about, how Charlotte, North Carolina, they have spring training down there, that it could be a possible avenue to get a major league team down there in Charlotte. And I think that North Carolina is known for baseball. I think that Nashville, Tennessee, same with baseball. The Volunteers of Tennessee, they won the national championship not too long ago. And not to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not to be like, I forget what the word is, but like, anyway. So it seems like a lot of baseball athletes come from the south part of the state, from the south part of the country. Like a lot of the southern kids, they play baseball and they're really good at baseball. Even like Kentucky can be considered in the Midwest, but also part of the South. Stereotypical, that's the word I'm looking for. I don't want to be stereotypical about this, but like it's typically seen that major leaguers come from the South because of the geographic and because of the weather and because that in the southern part of the country they love baseball.
But do they have the population? Do they have the population, Maddie, to fill a Major League Baseball team?
I think they do. I genuinely think they do, especially because, like I said, Vanderbilt and Tennessee, they fill crowds all the time with baseball, and I think that if you make a 30,000 seat stadium in Nashville, you're probably going to be able to fill out that stadium up if you can draw a crowd. Like they say in Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come, and this is the case here. If you build a stadium in Tennessee, because Tennessee is so passionate about baseball, people will come and they will want to buy into this. And I think that Tennessee more than Salt Lake City and Tennessee more than Portland, Oregon. Like Oregon and Salt Lake City, Utah just seem random. I think North Carolina and Tennessee is where you have to expand if you want expansion. Me personally, if I'm when it comes to expansion, I'm all for it. I think we need more teams. I think 30 is just a weird number. I think that if you do it the NFL style, like have 4 with the divisions, if you pin their divisions correctly, like don't put both New York teams in the same division, that would be stupid. But like plan your divisions correctly and make it geographically convenient where you can have those classic rivalries, but also keep tradition.
Anything where my Blue Jays could get out of a division with both the Yankees and the Red Sox will be just fine with me. So I do think that 32 teams is a perfect number. I think it's just a matter of time before the.
Where would they go? The American League or National League?
Well, I think it would be realignment. I think really. With Montreal, I mean, I think there would just be such a honeymoon period. I mean, a lot of I remember John Kruk saying on his broadcast about how he was partying in Montreal and it was such a great time and so on. But I mean, how long is that really going to last? Where are you going to build that stadium? Is Montreal? Do they have the kind of fan base where they could support a major league team throughout? I think that there is something really about the Pacific Northwest. I think that Vancouver really got screwed over with the Grizzlies and the NBA, and I think that they are a world-class city. Hell, they had the Olympics, and I could go on, but beyond the innate rivalry between Seattle and Vancouver being like 2 hours drive from each other. Obviously, you're not going to put two teams in Vancouver and Portland, Oregon, if even Oregon and Portland can hold a major league team. But I do think Vancouver has that kind of infrastructure. I think that Nashville, I mean, Sal, you know as well as I do that Miami didn't really have the four sports teams until relatively recently. Like the Miami Heat came in the late 80s. The Panthers came in the the Panthers came in the early 90s, and the Marlins came in around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nashville is just one of those cities that there's so much opportunity there. The entertainment dollar is going through the roof. I think they got to strike while the kettle is hot.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. And, the soccer franchise, Nashville SC is doing really well. I could go on and on. But
it's crazy you're saying that about soccer because we work the Philadelphia Union games. And those games in Chester, PA sell out all the time.
Sure.
And it's a crazy fan base there, especially when we had Messi come into town. That was, you want to talk traffic? Woohoo!
Oh my goodness, of course. I mean, he's just printing money wherever he goes for MLS. Yeah. So, gentlemen, I think we've covered everything, but it's time for the last segment of the show. Sal, I don't know what you're going to get yourself into, but it is called Straight Facts, Bro. Relax. The deal is, Mr. Cardinale, I'm going to pose a statement to you. You're going to agree by saying straight facts. You'll tell me why, and you'll do the exact same thing if you disagree by saying, bro, relax. And Jake, how about the season Cal Raleigh is having? Here is a guy who, I don't know if coming out of nowhere is the right term, but he is threatening to have one of those kinds of he is threatening to have an MVP season. I mean, to be a catcher, to flirt with 50 home runs. It's just a matter of time of him getting it. If he didn't get it already, I believe Seattle's playing right now. But he is playing in Seattle and in a market where not a lot of people pay attention to, despite the Hall of Fame talent that did roll through the Emerald City. You think about Ken Griffey Jr., you think about A-Rod, you think about Randy Johnson, Felix Hernandez, Ichiro. they've had a great wealth of Hall of Fame talent there. But is Cal Raleigh going to be one of those guys where his legacy will remain in Seattle? His contract will conclude at the 2030 season. Cal Raleigh will play for a new team when his contract ends at the end of his contract after the 2030 season. Straight facts, bro. Relax.
I'm gonna say straight facts. Seattle, they're a good team. I like them a lot. There's another Matt that has been on the show before. That's in the Discord. He loves Seattle in the Armchair Discord, and I'm kind of with him. That's a really well put together team. I think they could do some damage this year, but just look at it's not a fun place to play. It's just so cloudy every day. There's a reason people are so unhappy just overall in Seattle. And Felix Hernandez, one of the best starting pitchers of his generation. I'm not sure if he ever pitched in the playoffs one time. Ichiro, one of the best hitters in the history of the league. He had more success as a bench player on the Yankees than he did all those years in Seattle. He even played well for the Marlins at the end of his career in front of nobody. You talk about A-Rod. As soon as he could get out of there, he was gone. Ken Griffey, one of the greatest players ever, one of the greatest center fielders ever. Didn't finish his career there. He at least got close. He was on that 2001 team, also the Yankees. But I just don't think they're gonna. This guy, he already is at 50 homers. We're not even in September yet, and he's the first catcher ever with 50 bombs. So 60 bombs is not out of the question for that guy. He's having an incredible year. I think there's a case for him to an MVP. So look, that's 5 years away. That's 4 or 5 years away. A lot can happen in 4 or 5 years. But if he's still an elite level player, I don't think Seattle's going to pony up the money to sign him. And if he's smart, I think he's going to look at a lot of these guys that either had better success and really made an impact when they left, and the ones who didn't leave, although they're legends in Seattle, they'll never be recognized as MLB legends because they just suffered on a mediocre team for a long time. They made the playoffs once in the last 25 years. So they have a nice young core with Julio Rodriguez and company over there. A lot of good pitching, but right. I'll say, if I'm a betting man, I'll say he leaves.
You do have to think that one of the difficulties for playing in Seattle is the travel, because they are just so isolated from the rest of Major League Baseball. Gentlemen, feel free to chime in. Do you think that Cal Raleigh is going to leave as well?
No.
I don't believe so. I think that when you're a catcher in Major League Baseball and you hit 50 home runs, which has never been done before, especially because Seattle has a lot of great players. It's not even just Cal Raleigh. They also have Julio Rodriguez. They got Randy Rosarena. They just got Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez at the deadline. This is a very fun offensive baseball team. And I think losing Cal Raleigh would be a blow to their identity. And I think they don't want to lose him.
They're going to put the franchise tag on him.
Yeah.
Right now, he does have 50 home runs, 107 RBIs. He's batting .244. There's 25 games left as this week they're away for the next 9 games, which is crazy.
Wow.
They go to Cleveland, Tampa, and then Atlanta. They come back home for Seattle and the Angels. Back on the road for Kansas City and Houston, and close out the season at home against the Rockies and world champion Dodgers.
Wow.
So that last weekend, and that's what you were touching on, September baseball and the playoff push. That's what I look forward to. That last weekend into September, and you see these playoff teams and who they're playing at the end of the year could basically make or break one team. And
sure.
What year was it, Matt? The Yankees just tippy-toed into the playoffs by
2021
by beating Seattle the last weekend of the series.
Correct. Yeah.
They don't win that game. The Yankees aren't in it.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Right now, I think he stays. I think they build a team around those core of guys like Matty mentioned. Seattle's going to be a team to be reckoned with. I think I'm not afraid as Houston as I used to be. Detroit has rejuvenated, and I noticed Alex Bregman is a free agent after this year. If he likes what he sees in his old hometown, maybe he goes back to Detroit.
Sure.
I
But
think
with Seattle, you there certainly is a foundation there and a great history of
without a doubt.
Seattle, and of course having not made a World Series, they did come into Major League Baseball the same time as the Toronto Blue Jays back in 1977.
They have a good fan base for both teams. Like they call their football team, they're the 12th man, the fans.
Mm-hmm. The Seahawks.
So they really have a good fan base out there for both their organizations. The Seattle Kraken with their hockey team.
Yep.
The man has to stay. Just like Alonso needs to stay a Met. You got to keep that man in Queens.
Yes, please.
I think it's a different fan base if Alonso does walk. Met fans aren't going to be happy at all.
Pete Alonso, certainly.
Yeah.
So, Matty, of course, the Toronto Blue Jays have had some renaissance season. They are tops in the AL East. They're flirting with the best record in the AL. What is the possibilities for Canada's team? However, the one half of the dynamic duo, Bo Bichette, his contract will be up at the end of the season, and is there a possibility that he may look elsewhere? There is no relationship like there is with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I'm sure you guys aren't aware that Guerrero Jr. was in fact born in Montreal while his father was playing with the Expos. He, of course, did go through the program and with the Jays organization essentially the same time as Vladdy has. But what kind of contract would he be requesting? And would the Jays be able to match that? Or do they just see that 1-2 punch as the driving force to lead the Jays to playoff glory? Matty, Bo Bichette will resign with the Blue Jays at the end of this season. Straight facts, bro. Relax.
Straight facts. Because here's why. The Blue Jays know that they have a foundation. They know they got something special brewing this year. They're, like you said, they're probably going to be the best team in the American League by record, unless Detroit ekes it away from them. This team, I think this is their open hole to win a championship. Finally, you already paid Vlad Guerrero Jr. You might have to get Bo Bichette back as well. Fans are clamoring for Bo Bichette to get that extension. I think you have to focus on keeping your core guys there. And if the Blue Jays are serious about contending in the future, they keep Bo Bichette as well. So straight facts.
My spidey sense is tingling. I do agree with you, but there is something. I think that. I mean, how enamored is Bo Bichette with Toronto? And it's not just because it's Toronto. Like, does he have eyes for some other team? And I mean, hey, he has every right to sign a big ticket as well. And I don't know. I don't know how connected he is with the Blue Jays, despite this great run that they're having this season. If I did have to put money on it, and I'm just calling it a hunch, I do think he walks. But I hope that I am wrong.
I'll say this: at the beginning of the season, if you asked me this in like May, I would have said I was very positive he's going to leave. I think he stays now. They've had a really good year. Lodge just got his deal. However, he's going to have a lot of suitors. He was really bad last year, bunch of injuries, but pretty much the last 4 years other than that, he's been one of the better hitters in baseball. He led the league in hits 2 years in a row. He's been very good this year. I think he's even better than his numbers say. So I think he stays, because he's a shortstop. You've seen a lot of these shortstops, Lindor and Seager get these huge deals. he's gonna probably want something kind of close to that. I could see him maybe clearing $200 million. Willie Adama's got 7 for 182 or something from San Francisco.
Yep.
I think that's probably his floor, so he's gonna get a big deal. I think he'll stay. However, Rogers' family, as you know, Randy, they tend to do some funny things. Sometimes they open their pockets. Sometimes they're like, "Nah, I'm good." Sometimes they'll pretend like they are to make the fans happy, and then you get towards spring training, it's like, holy crap, we missed on every single free agent that we wanted, and we ended up with 87-year-old Joey Votto. So I think
great pull.
I've had a bit of a change of heart with my prediction for that, so I'll say he stays, but he's gonna have suitors for sure.
He certainly will. Well, Sal, now that you got a firsthand experience of what this segment is like, now you are on the hot seat. And I mean, how about those New York Knicks? I mean, it was some uncharted territory for the Knicks. They did have a great regular season, going 20 games over 500. They made the conference finals. Is it possible that they are on their way to perhaps getting to the pot of gold there and winning an NBA championship for the first time in over 50 years? But the New York Yankees are still the New York Yankees. I mean, of course, this latest where they stubbed their toe and the world seems to be falling apart is what it is. But I mean, they still have. I mean, what is Garrett Cole going to be next year? I mean, is he officially done? I mean, is it just a snap of a finger and they're going to get some free agents and get some new blood? Could they get back to the promised land? I mean, hey, October wasn't that long ago when the Yankees made the World Series.
But it's funny.
Where are we at with regards to who's going to win the race? Sal, the New York Knicks will win a championship before the New York Yankees. Straight facts, we'll relax.
I'm going to say straight facts.
Why do you say that?
I see Matt looking at me like I'm crazy. The Knicks are close. Real close. I think they're closer than the Yankees, actually. Like I said, that 90s formula needs to walk. They'll never fire Boone because he's a yes man. That is why he's still around. The whole formula in the Bronx has to go. The whole Hal Steinbrenner. I was reading something that the daughter might be taking over the team. So Boone has to go. Cashman's got to go. Like I said, that 90s formula is out the window. Do we keep Cody Bellinger? Are we going to have question marks again? We need a pitching staff. Clay Holmes went to the Mets. He's doing great for them. The guys that they traded and got rid of, it didn't make sense. I was just looking at last year's win-loss record. They're basically the same team as last year.
Why is that a bad thing? I mean, they made the World Series.
They did. But look at the teams that weren't hanging with them and then dropped out. Toronto improved. Boston improved. All we had to worry about last year was Baltimore. Baltimore just completely ran off the tracks. I was more worried about, like I said, with Toronto and Baltimore. I wasn't thinking Boston at all in the beginning of the year. The Yankees need a lot of improvement. If they don't make the playoffs this year and get knocked out in the first round, me and Maddie are going to be probably censored for the rest of the season.
Maddie, are you in agreement with Sal?
All right. The day of the New York Knicks win a title, New York City will be flooding with people. I'm guaranteeing you right now. But like,
more so than usual. More so than already.
Here's the thing. I didn't want Sal to say straight facts, but you know what? I can kind of see where he's going because right now the Yankees are doing the same thing every single year and expecting a different result, and you don't get a different result. Yes, we almost beat the Dodgers in the World Series, but honestly, we were beat handily in that World Series last year, handily, and that's not even a controversial opinion. It's a fact. Now the Knicks, this is probably their golden year to win the NBA Finals. This upcoming season is probably their golden chance to do it.
The East has
Because
nothing.
the Celtics are going to take a step back. I think the Pacers are going to take a step back. And then I think the Western Conference, they can take them on. I really think so. Other than Cleveland, who has proven that they can choke, I think the Knicks can come out of the East and maybe even win it all. I agree with Sal. I just don't like hearing that answer, but I can agree.
Also, we talk about how the Yankees won't change. Like, Aaron Boone can run the team into the ground, and like Sal said, he's a yes man. Tom Thibodeau took the Knicks to the first conference finals in 25 years, and the Knicks still look themselves like, look, he's done a lot. He's done a lot for us for ECF for 25 years, but he doesn't use his bench. He's got to go. So if the Knicks fired a coach after he took them to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years, I wasn't even born yet. Meanwhile, Aaron Boone is running the team into the ground. They're like, oh yeah, he can come back. So yeah, and the Knicks are like Sal said, they're really close. They have a real star in Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns. He kind of gets on my nerves a little bit, but he's a good player. They have a legit bench now, different coach in Mike Brown. East is pretty weak. Coming out of the East shouldn't be that hard. I don't know. I think they're close.
Yeah, Phil, the Sixers aren't going nowhere quick.
And no, you have the freaking
I said, my spot during the Sixer games was right by the Sixers bench, and I would hear it all, man. I would hear it all, and we were talking about organizations throwing money at ball players, and Joel Embiid's one right there, always injured, and you throw money at a guy who's always injured, and now you got. I think didn't the Knicks just pick up somebody that was on the Sixers just recently?
Yeah, Yabusele, the big man.
Oh, Yabba Dabba Doo, they used to call.
Yeah.
So when he used to shoot a basket and score in Philly, the background noise was Fred Flintstone going Yabba Dabba Doo. So there's an organization who made the playoffs against the Knicks, and then they took over the arena in Philly, and Philly wasn't too happy about that. But organizations are throwing money. You're putting a captain's moniker and a franchise player moniker on these guys, and DeVito now is a Patriot. The Giants got rid of him. It's like, where does it stop and where does it end? Actually, not stop. Where does end it? Even with the Mets, Met fans have been dying since '86. You made it in 2015. Kansas City was a good team then. And it's like, okay, and I said it back then. When you make the World Series, Yankees-Mets 2000, you're supposed to build on that team going forward. What were we going to do with Roberto Alomar and Mo Vaughn? Jason Bay. What was Will Pond thinking?
Yeah. They were definitely past their prime for sure in 2000, and
all the teams are like that. The Yankees were getting guys past their prime.
Sure.
If you look at these organizations, whether it's the Devils, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Rangers just had a good run, and now they broke that team up. I was never a Ranger fan. I was a Devils fan, but the Islanders now with their new arena and Boomer Esiason's son-in-law is on the Islanders, and it's like and you were touching on getting ball players to draw fans back to see these teams. And I know what your next question is, so go ahead.
Oh no, I was.
I thought we were getting ready for that other part. Because
Oh no, not at all, not at
Oh.
all. I guess, really in the end, it was just like, do you need more pieces to fill a baseball team? And
Oh, the Yankees are going to need it. I think every team needs like the Yankees made the World Series last year. Did you think
Right.
they were going to make it again this year? You knew the Dodgers were
well,
because
hey, if Garrett Cole stayed healthy, if they'd re-signed Juan Soto, why not?
it's all. I don't know. It's like I said, it's all about pitching. Uh, you could have the whole 9 guys on that lineup that hit 50 home runs and bat in 200 runs, and they could help us. As long as you have a good starting staff that could hold that team down, or a bullpen that's awesome. And then you're done if you don't.
Yeah. And hey, I'm not counting the Yankees out yet, as much as I'd really love to, because anything could happen with playoff baseball around the corner. Guys, thank you so much, Sal. It's a real pleasure to meet you. Sal, I'd be remiss if.
I would actually love to do this again, man. I
Oh
would.
no, hey, my
A lot of
pleasure.
fun.
My pleasure. I'm sure there's going to be a few storylines come end of October, and if you like, please, where can people find you on social media and everywhere?
We have our Facebook page, Talking Baseball with Sal Angioletti. You can find us on Facebook. If you go on YouTube and do the same thing, you find our old shows up there. Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music. You know, Matty Ice, one of the main cogs of my wheel, along with Big C, where new time slot this coming Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m., half hour of baseball, and then we got my Gridiron Gang throwing around our football picks and spreads and all that other jazz.
And with football season around the corner, and with hockey season as well, basketball, both those are a couple months away. We're going to get into the swing of things with a lot of pro sports. And hey, what's better than playoff baseball?
The summer went by too quick.
It did.
Certainly,
It really did.
Yeah, sure did. For Jake Cardinale, Matt Siriani, and Sal Angioletti, I'm Randy Coure. This is Voice of the Fans Canada. Hope you're doing well and keeping safe. We will talk to you next time.
Yeet.